Good morning, everyone. Daniel, thank you. That was so beautiful. This year, the Centers for Spiritual Living have started to have a monthly theme. And the month of May is spiritual guidance, personal responsibility. And our metaphor this week for spiritual guidance and personal responsibility is, my soul sings out. And each of us, our soul is one with spirit. Our soul is an expression of God. Each of us, we are spirit in expression, uniquely, divinely, just as we are, right here in this room today. We are spirit, individualized. So we ask ourselves, what are the elements? What are some of the elements of my soul sings out? What are the elements that move me, that motivate me, that captivate me, and really that move my soul into action? Well, it's all God. And the most important thing to remember for all of us is that spirit is all there is. So spirit in, through, and as us is already moving through us, is already in action through us. If we have an idea and we just think about that idea and we don't do anything with it, and then maybe a year later we go, oh, I thought of that, when a product comes on the market, or we see a book that has been in our mind for a long time. Someone else is letting their soul sing out, because as spirit in expression, it is our personal responsibility to take that guidance, that inner intuition, the divine, that literally sings through us and moves through us and made us who we are, and say yes to it and use it. It is the action that gives us our lives. As long as we just think we're spinning, and when we move into saying yes to the passion and stepping into that which is ours to do and be, that's when our lives start to sing. It doesn't matter if we're 16 or we're 65. One age group has the startups and one age group has the start-overs. But for either age group and all the age groups in between, younger and quote, older than that, we can each day start anew. We can decide, this is the day for my soul to sing out. This is the day that I am going to take that which is in my soul and let it express a little bit more. I'm going to add to it. There's a wonderful story called the Daffodil Story. And in this story, and it's a true story, mom went to visit her daughter. And her daughter said, oh, I'm so glad you came this time of year. We're going to go see the daffodils. And the mother didn't have any interest in going to see the daffodils. So the daughter insisted. It's a foggy day, it's cloudy, might have even been a little bit cold outside. So they get in the mom's car and they start driving. And it's 20 minutes later and they're still driving. The daughter turns down the gravel road. They see a small church. And then they see a sign and it says Daffodil Garden. They still don't see the daffodils. So the mother, it's like a couple of times she wanted to turn around and go back. Like, why are we doing this? So the daughter says, come on, They walk in back of the church. And up the hillside for acres, 5 acres of daffodils. And these daffodils are planted in patterns of color. So there's oranges, there's salmons, there's the lemon yellows, the butter yellows, the lime yellows, the whites, and each variety and color is made into shapes. And it's like there is a river of golden hues coming down this hillside and swirling as far as they can see. And they are literally stopped in their tracks in awe. I mean, can you imagine seeing that at the height of the bloom? It would be just so beautiful. So the mom says, "Oh, who did this?" And the daughter says, "See that house over there?" And there's a modest house. And so they walk over to it, and there's a patio with a big sign. And the sign says, "These are the answers to probably the questions you're asking right now." First answer, 50,000 bulbs. 50,000. Second answer, planted one bulb at a time by one woman. 2 hands, 2 feet, this is a quote, and a little brain. Third answer, began in 1958. And this was in the late 90s. And the mother looked at her daughter and said, "Oh, what I could have achieved, what I could have done, if I'd just started sooner, if I'd just done it a different way." And we all have that answer, right, at times? Only if only, what if? And the daughter was very direct. Evidently, she was always very direct. And she said, "Mom, start today. Start today." And there's that saying, just begin, because boldness has power and magic in it. So this story is about also what's called the daffodil principle. You do a little bit each day. You plant one bulb at a time. You meaning all of us, myself, I'm saying all of us. One bulb at a time, one seed at a time, one action at a time. And it doesn't matter if you're moved to bake cookies. I mean, haven't each and every one of us in this room, we have had delicious cookies and not so delicious cookies. Like, we like good cookies and we like good chocolate or whatever it is that floats your boat, that you love to eat. It's like, start today. Or if it's the book. Or if it's spending more time with your grandchildren or your children. Or calling them more often if they live away from you. Whatever that action is that motivates us, that captivates us, that makes our hearts, our minds, and our souls sing. Because we matter. That's the second element. We matter. You, each and every one of you in this room, and myself included, we matter. And it doesn't, even if no one's ever said that to you, even if you were told the opposite, up until this moment, that's the truth. We matter. You matter. Your life, my life matters. The woman that planted the daffodils one at a time, 50,000 plus daffodils, has she made a difference in people's lives? Think of the beauty that people saw. Think of the, wow, one person did this. What can I do? Wow. And it's daffodils, guys. Daffodils. It's not that she was, Einstein. Einstein was Einstein. Hers was daffodils. So it's what's ours. And a clue might be, what matters to me? What moves me? What takes my breath away? What, as Daniel's saying, slows me down so I notice? That's a clue to what makes our hearts and our souls sing. And each and every one of us have that ability within us. Isaac Perlman evidently gave a very famous concert in New York and probably at Lincoln Center. And in this concert, he had polio, so every step he took was measured. And he had to undo his brace when he would sit down before he'd play in concert. And so at this particular concert, very early into his playing, a string on his violin broke. So for another violinist, it would be really easy to get up and go get another string. But it wasn't for Isaac Perlman. So he played on 3 strings. He played with what was left. So it doesn't matter where we're at in life. We have the ability to use what's left of our lives, of our day. And it's said that in that concert, the people that were there said he played magnificently. You wouldn't have believed the music he made with 3 violin strings, which I'm not a violinist, but I can imagine that it's what hadn't been done before or people hadn't heard it before. So we matter, and we can use what's left because spirit is all there is. And spirit is everywhere present. And its wish is for us to express. It can't do it without us. We are its highest form that we know of on this earth as intelligence. We have the ability, because we have thumbs and we can think, we have the ability to make something of our lives, to really enjoy our days, and to let our souls express, to let our souls sing. And that can change. When we're 16, it's really different than 45 or 75. There'll be a start overs. There'll be many start overs possibly for many of us here in this room. And each time, it's up to us to bring to that start over all that we are, all that spirit is within us, all of the peace, all of the supply, all of the love, all of the inspiration, all of the motivation. It is up to each one of us to say yes. Because until we do that, until we say yes, nothing's going to happen. And if we just think about something, we're not going to create beauty. We're not going to get up and sing. I knew a little girl who loved Christmas, and this is when I was a kid, and she loved the Christmas tree and the lights, probably as much as she loved all the gifts. So she would, at dinner time when everybody else was occupied, she would go into the living room and she would close the doors, she'd plug in the Christmas tree lights, And she would also turn off all the lamps. So what she would do then is she'd get out this little stool, she'd stand up on it, face the empty room, and sing Christmas carols at the top of her lungs, and she couldn't keep a tune. If her life depended on it, she was going to sing off key. The other reason, she closed all the doors. And that expression is what makes our souls sing. What is it? It's about that type of expression. It doesn't have to be for anybody else. It can be just for us. It can be that which relaxes us and rejuvenates us and brings us back to life. Because it's not just about the doing and all of that. It's also about that deep inner stillness and quiet. Look at the roses and the hydrangeas, or any beautiful flowering plant, the daffodils. Roses are sticks for 6 months of the year, especially in northern climates. Here they bloom longer. But in Seattle or Minneapolis, it's a stick in the ground for a good 6 months. And then what happens? It blooms, it's fragrant, it's glorious. Every spring, nature rebounds. Nature restores. So for each of us, we all have also the personal responsibility to rest, to rejuvenate, and as we do, the next expression, the next start over, or the next startup, whether it's cookies, daffodils, or like Elon Musk, having someone someday land on Mars, and he means it, it's ours, and it'll make our souls sing. So to end, Blake is going to put an affirmation up here, and I'd really like us all to repeat it, or to say it together, and at the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, I open my mind, my heart, and my soul to allow the divine to express through me. Let's say that again. Let's say it with a lot of holiday energy. I open my mind, my heart, and my soul to allow the divine to express through me. And so it is.